Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video we're going to be looking at Daily Race B at Sardegna again. But we're going to have a look at some nice dirty drivers in this one, so hope you enjoy it. But here we go, this is more where I was expecting to start with my pacing quali in this one, to be honest, down in 11th place. Still with a quali time of a 1:41.9, but obviously it is a tough lobby, a lot of A and A plus drivers, and take note of the Italian Roberto, who was a B-rated driver, the Spanish driver David, and the Swiss driver KDH, who were both A-plus rated drivers, because they're the three main drivers that are going to feature in this video. And to be honest, I'm quite shocked that two of them are A-rated drivers with SR, and that one of them's a B-rated driver with SSR. Because how in this current penalty system they've got SR if they drive like this every race, I do not know. But we'll get underway. See, they're just taking it steady through the first couple of corners. Don't want to get involved in an incident. You see there, we'll point that out quite nicely. The Brit swerves a little bit not to hit the back of me, and try and give him a bit of space and get back in line. So started off with something a bit good, but you see this is where it all goes wrong. The Porsche there hits the barrier, and I went to go round him for, oh no, he's gonna drift into me. Half gave up, sort of still went for it, and I hit the wall as well then, so kind of started. But there we go, and I get the hit round from the Swiss driver there. So we'll just have a look at the replay, see what actually happened from his point of view there. But as you see here, coming through, there's the Porsche, hits the barrier. That spooks me. I'm trying to sort of half get round, but I hit the barrier because of that, because I'm taking all the wrong angle. And then just watch how late he brakes here. Look, he brakes so late. I do think he's trying to avoid it, so I don't think it's really a punt necessarily, that one. But it's very poor driving. That many cars in front after a bit of carnage, and he brakes that late into a corner like that. You know, there's always going to be contact there, so I think that's very poor driving in my opinion from an A-rated driver there. But I wouldn't necessarily say that one was a deliberate punt, but I'll let you guys decide that. Just let me know in the comments below. But this German up ahead here has got a penalty, so hopefully we'll pass him. But I will say it did look like in this race me and this German were in the same situation. We were both stuck fighting with these drivers that weren't racing particularly clean, and we kept getting caught up in it. And I don't think me or him did anything wrong at all in this race, yet we seem to keep being the ones that ended up getting taken out. But as you see here, I know he's right up behind me, he's in the Lambo, he's got a really good run, so I don't defend it at all, because I don't think it's worth it at all. We want to catch up to these cars in front. So if you look there, I just let off the throttle early, let him pass, get the run through the corner, keep with him, and hopefully together we can close down on these cars in front. So stay behind him there. So here's where we try and catch back up to these cars in front. So not the greatest start from 12th, did we say we started, or 11th for 12th, so you know, and now we're down in last place, so obviously not the best start to the race that we could have hoped for. But you see there's been action up ahead again involving the Italian and the Spaniard there, Roberto and David, as you see. So as I said, those two feature the most in this video really, to be honest, so I'm not surprised at that. But as you see, the Germans caught them up now and they're in a big group. So I'm sort of trying to bide my time here, because I don't know what's going to happen. As you see, the Spaniard goes wide there, David, and I pull past him. So we get past him, no problem there. So but these three cars are all still together here, so we'll see what might happen. Because as I said, I feel from watching this race back that maybe, well, and during the race I noticed it a little bit, that I think this German's in the same sort of position as me. But as you see here, I just outbrake myself slightly because they brake a little early, give them a slight tap. But luckily nothing comes of that, so apologies to the German guy there. We'll just look at that again. As you see, I don't think I braked any late at all. They just seemed so slow, and I just couldn't I couldn't get it stopped before he turned in. He'd left the big gap for the wide turn in and clipped him. Luckily neither of us spun round, but you know, some mistakes do happen, so that's why I say that first one by the Swiss driver, I won't call it dirty, because as I said, I don't think he did it deliberately maybe, but it wasn't the greatest driving. But that for me, I think probably wasn't the greatest driving either. But oh, you see there, just absolutely sent into from behind by that David there. So we'll go back and look at that one as well. So as you see, he's quite a long way back here. He braked after the 100-metre board there, which is way too late. And he easily could have avoided me there. There was space for him to avoid me, and he just deliberately went into the back of me to slow his car down. And why, I've done absolutely nothing to him in this race at all. So why he's hit me, I do not know, but that's the problem you have sometimes. There's no avoiding that sort of contact when someone quite clearly is just trying to punt you out the way to slow themselves down. There's nothing really you can do to avoid it. So puts us back down to 15th again. So now we've got to do all that work again to catch this group back up, but you see they are still fighting again. And as you see there, Carney just gone on again. So a 4-second penalty for the Italian there. We're up behind him, but look at that. He just swerves in front of us last minute when we took the inside line and braked 50-60 metres before the braking zone. And that unsettles us on the exit, allows the Swiss driver back pass, so we're back in last. So let's see what's gone on here. So yeah, there he accelerates into the German there, who I was on about. I don't think the German did anything wrong in this race, but he was the same as me. He was just on the receiving end of all this carnage. But that was deliberate. And he brakes a little bit early there, but I don't think too early. But it's the Spaniard that hits him. So there we go. There's the other driver deliberately, if you watch this. Yeah, full acceleration. Yeah, just hits into him deliberately, I think. But he did brake early as well, so I think they're both a little bit in the wrong there. And then back on with Roberto here. This is me. I'm coming on the inside. Look, he turns left last minute and just slams on the brakes really early, just to get me to run into him. But luckily the game sees sense and gives him an extra 3 seconds, which is 100% correct. So the penalty system working a treat in this one, because if you've noticed, the penalties there have gone correctly. The only thing is that the Spaniard David there maybe didn't get a penalty for punting me and didn't get a penalty for hitting that guy either. But if you look now, this is now KDH, the Swiss guy, and David, the Spaniard. Just look at that, just pushing each other, totally unnecessary. If the Swiss guy is clean, because he's the one I give the benefit of the doubt to here, but he's not helping himself by doing that. But then watch this move, just deliberately, in my opinion there, runs the Spaniard off the track. 100% deliberately, in my opinion there, but we'll look back at that. So I'm trying to stay out of it, because I can see the carnage that's going on. And if you look here, he does not turn at all, and look how late he waits to turn. So to me, but the Spaniard had been hitting people off, so I don't know if the Swiss guy was just fed up and annoyed with him. But look, from on board with the Spaniard, look at this, the Swiss guy doesn't turn at all, just deliberately, in my opinion, runs him off the track. But that gets us a position. So we're back up into 14th now again, so we can see what happens here on the final lap. So as you see, that Spaniard David's right up behind us now. And here we go, smash straight into the back of us yet again, straight into the back of the Swiss guy. So to me, he's deliberately trying to take the Swiss guy out, doesn't care that I'm there and takes me out with him, which is totally out of order. So let's watch from his point of view here. So he does brake in the right place, but comes off the brake, hits the accelerator, hits me, hits the Swiss guy, gets a 4-second penalty quite rightly, but yet again ruining my chance of getting a higher position again. So the whole of this race, in my opinion, just totally out of order from multiple drivers, and as I said, possibly give KDH the benefit of the doubt, but Roberto and David are just an absolute disgrace, in my opinion, with this, because they're just deliberately punting people, brake checking people, and all that is just totally out of order, in my opinion. So keep your eyes out for those drivers, the Italian Roberto and the Spaniard David, because if they're in any of your races, by the looks of what they've done in this race, I would say that they're probably going to be willing to hit you off as well, because I think you'll all agree that I've done absolutely nothing, and to be honest, I was quite happy with myself here that I managed to not retaliate on anyone, just keep the race going, because during this race I was getting so mad at how much I was getting hit off. So to be honest, I think we've got to take that. I kept my cool, didn't retaliate in any way, and sometimes that's the way you've got to go, and just take these races and hope you get a better one. To be honest, the bit that annoyed me most, I did this race and I did another after it where I used the Lambo and I tried to see how the Lambo was, but I got punted in that, and then I also spun myself when I was trying to catch back up, so it wasn't worth showing because basically I did 3 laps on my own at the back, so it was a bit pointless. But in those 2 races I lost around 1500 DR points, I think. But one of them I started, was that 11th or 12th in that one and finished 14th, and one of them I started 14th and finished last. In A-rated lobbies, yet I lost 1500 DR points. So now we're going to look at a slightly better races. You see we're starting in 14th, so further back this time. So hopefully that means we just won't get punted, because there's not as many people behind us to punt us. So you never know, could be a positive. But hopefully we get a better race, and to be honest with you, this was a much better race, much cleaner race. A few little things, you know, because I think things happen in races, but not as much deliberate. So I was a little bit annoyed during the race with that French guy, because as I said, I did this race straight after having the race I've just shown you and then one other that didn't go well. But watching the replay here, I think he does outbrake himself a bit late. It's a bit long, but I have left the gap and he goes for it. It's a bit of a pushy move, he sort of forces his way through, but I think I've left the door open for him there, so I don't think there's anything in it. As I said, during the race I was a little bit annoyed by it, but watching the replay, I don't think there's much in that really. I don't think he's done anything wrong, but if you do look, he is a little bit forceful again there, so... And I don't know if that was him that caused that guy to spin off, but that guy's gone, so now we're up behind the German in the Porsche Roadrunner here. She says don't touch, but I thought he wouldn't mind this touch from me to help him bump jack past the French guy here. And shout out to the Roadrunner there, because see, look, we're right next to each other and we both avoided any sort of contact with each other. And if you look, he just brakes or pulls off there, eases off. I don't know why. I think maybe being sensible and backing out, not wanting to get involved in the carnage. So very clean driving from him there, so shout out to him, especially after that last race we've just had. And a massive shout out to this Swiss driver in the Corvette here. Look at that. He served his penalty, he sees that I'm there on the radar, he does give me a slight tap in the back there on that corner, but nothing in that, totally accidental. But as you saw there, he's unghosted, he sees I'm on the inside a lot quicker, and he just gave me the space to get past him. So thankful for that, shout out to him, because I have been took out in one of these races I did where the guy just come out of ghosting and totally just pulled across and smashed me off the track. So well done there for the Swiss guy, paying attention to his radar and serving his penalty fairly and letting the faster drivers pass before rejoining the racing line. But as you see there, he gets a poor corner there, so we run away a little bit, so we can now look at this French guy ahead, see if we can get past him. Which during this race I did really want to overtake this French guy, because I felt a bit annoyed at the move he made at the start, but as I said, I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was during the actual race, which is why I always think it's a good idea to look at replays, because you know, sometimes from a different angle things aren't as bad. As you see here, I brake a little early, because if you noticed on the last lap, the French guy went deep, hit the barrier, so I thought he might do it again, so I brake early, get the putback line, and get past him as he goes deep into the barrier again. So I was quite happy with that move, because I used the knowledge that I'd worked out of how he was racing and thought there's a chance he's going to go deep again, so I used that to my advantage and decided to brake early to get that cut back on him. And as you see, the Swiss guy in the Corvette, as you'll see in the mirror there, has started to fight him, so quite quickly we pulled away there. So we're going to fast forward through here because we're now in a bit of no man's land. Can we possibly catch up ahead? Probably not, just over 2 seconds. But will the guys behind catch us up? Probably not with the fighting like that. So we'll just fast forward through so you can see what's going on. So I'm just trying to keep it clean, see if I can bring those cars in front in a little bit, but you know, I don't think anything's really, if anything, they're slightly pulling away from me, maybe slightly quicker than me, which is not surprising because I said I was struggling for pace at this race, and this is a tougher lobby. As you see there, someone, oh no, thought we got closer there, but I don't think we did we? Thought someone maybe served a penalty, but no. But as you see, we're well ahead of the guys behind now as well, so we're sort of just stuck in this no man's land. So we're going to want to bring it round on the final lap. I think top 10 finishing 10th after starting 14th in a fairly tough lobby, and especially when we've seen from that last race starting at the back is a bit of carnage. So you do well to get through the carnage, but you might see ahead, it looks like someone's got a penalty up ahead. So can we possibly be close enough? Hard to tell how long that penalty is from this far back. So can we be close enough to capitalise maybe? So we're coming through to the penalty zone. Let's see who serves one. So he serves it, but no, well ahead. Must have only been a short penalty. We're not anywhere near close enough to capitalise. You see here, we just run deep into the final corner. Not that it matters. We're not going to gain a place. We're not going to lose a place. So here we come down to the finish line for a 10th place. So definitely take that after the last race. Well, as I said, the last 2 races we had, but obviously I've only shown you one of them. So, but the other thing I wanted to say, as I said, those last 2 races, 2 poor races in same sort of lobbies, tough lobbies, I lost 1500 DR points in that race for gaining 4 positions in a tough lobby. I only gained 200 DR points, so I was a little bit annoyed about that. But let me know your guys' opinions in the comments below on these races, and if you like the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.